What is up, Brozones? Welcome to another stream. I love how I'm just like streaming every day this week. This is great. It's so enjoyable, honestly, to stream. I just need to make sure that everything is working fine. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late. Haley. Haley, why do you do this to me? 10 subs or 10 members, that is amazing. Thank you so much once again. D-Time, welcome as well. I saw you in the chat way before. So yeah, well done, or not well done. Why do I always say well done? I mean like congrats to the people who are gifted a membership. That is very sweet of Haley. Make sure you all thank her. Welcome Dusk, Illumi, Withered Circle, how's it going? LM125, Monsieur Le Frog. Timeline, yes, absolutely timeline. We are going to be doing some... By the way, this stream is like very, very underprepared. So this could go any way. I have no idea what's going to happen, but we're going to do some lore hunting. We're going to craft ourselves a timeline of the Pizzaplex. So... I think I will get into what we're actually doing in a minute. I just want to make sure that the introductions and stuff are here. Hello, Scraps. How's it going? I think membership is more of a psychic thing for me. Fair enough. Fair enough. It is only like $1 a month or something for me, I think. But then again, you don't actually get any perks really. So it's literally just like if you want to support me monthly, then there you go. Is this going to be long or short? Depends. Depends. I think usually I have so long. I could stream for like 12 hours if I wanted to. But obviously I'm not going to, because at some point I'm going to get tired and I'm going to say, okay guys, bye. So it's not like a designated length of time. It's more like when I get tired of streaming, then I'll stop streaming. I think that's quite healthy, right? Okay. I see people saying... Sorry. I see people saying that they have thoughts on the Pizzaplex timeline. Fantastic. Make sure you save them. Fun fact, the time in D-Time is actually short for timeline. Okay, whatever. Yeah, and the tip is short for map, I'm sure. Hi Thunderstorm. Hi Nixie. Better not stream for 3 hours. Got a psychic stream to watch. Oh, that's true. That's true. That one's going to be a good one as well. Is that in 2 hours? Can someone tell me when psychic stream is? I love how me and Psychic have like a lot of fans that cross over. It's kind of cute. Okay. So here's what's going to happen. Okay, and again, this is very underprepared, right? I don't really have a big idea of what's going to happen. But here's what I know I'm going to do. So usually when I do like discussion streams, when I do like theory discussions live, there's a lot of different topics that we talk about at the same time. And it's not annoying as per se. It's like... Yeah, it's not annoying. It's just like there's a lot of different places we're bouncing between. I don't want that to happen. Usually I kind of just sit back and talk to the chat about what the chat wants to talk about. Today, and I think from now on in theory streams, especially if this one works quite well, what I want to do is I want to almost be the host, which is kind of funny putting it that way when I'm the one who's streaming, but usually I'm not actually really the host. I'm just kind of like putting out my thoughts and stuff. I want to be the host of this, and I want to be kind of like the organizer, if you will. And I want to make sure that we're always kind of like on the same topic. So if you have an idea about the timeline of the Pizzaplex, I don't want people... Like, I think it's really sweet that you're so enthusiastic about the Fnaf timeline and your thoughts, but what I don't want to happen is people chiming in all the time with different thoughts on different topics. I want to kind of streamline this so that we're always talking about the same thing until I say we move on. So it's kind of like my call is my call. This is my stream. This is my judgment. Like, I'm going to be organizing it and I'm going to be the host of it. So there we go. We should have a whiteboard on stream where we just have everything connected in chaotic ways. Is there an app? Is there an online thing where people can just join the whiteboard and add to the whiteboard? I want to know if that's a thing, because I think that would be really funny. Maybe it's not a great idea. I think people could draw like swastikas and stuff, so I don't know if I want to do that. Feels like back to school. Exactly, like genuinely, think of me as like a teacher, right? So once again, I want to reiterate again, I don't know how this is going to work, but like I have Google Docs open. I have like Google Drawings, Google Docs, completely untitled documents. We're just going to be building a timeline together, right? I think that's probably the best idea, right? It's probably a good idea to just kind of go along with it and try and build something together. By doing this, you know what? Let's have some fun with this before we begin properly. Recipe for beef Wellington. Write me the Fnaf timeline, please. Create. What's our AI gonna think? What is AI gonna do? Oh, I just got an ad. Here's what AI thinks. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wait, this is really funny actually. Okay, so 1970s, Henry, Emily, and William Afton opened Fazbear's Family Diner. Not quite accurate. And 1970s, not too sure on that. I think maybe 1979, but even that's like a stretch. 1983, Bite of 83 occurs, resulting in the death of a child. Okay, 1985, Circus Baby's Pizza World opens. I'm not sure about that. I think the missing children's incident should be here. Instead, we got it in 1987. The missing children's incident occurs, resulting in the deaths of 5 children. Could be 6. Fazbear's Family Diner closes down. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza reopens. Five Nights at Freddy's 4 takes place in 1994. William Afton's killed by the spirits of the murdered children. That's actually kind of accurate, 1995. That's not bad. 2023, Five Nights at Freddy's security breach takes place. Absolutely not. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place burns down in 2028. Absolutely not. Okay, that is not based. Let's get rid of that. Okay. So, AI is right about FNAF 4. Go away. It's not in 1994, I swear. Okay. So, what we want to do is, and this is going to be specifically a Pizzaplex timeline, and I know that sounds strange because like, oh, it's the Pizzaplex, like how much detail could there be about the Pizzaplex? There are so many events that happen at the Pizzaplex, it's genuinely just hard to keep track of. It'd be really good to just have it all down somewhere. So where I want to start is with the most recent addition to the Pizzaplex lore, and that is of course VIP, which we read through in the past 2 days. Why does this never work? I hate it when it doesn't work. VIP, there you go. There's your VIP cover in case you haven't seen it. So we read through this in the past 2 days, and I've also just uploaded a full audiobook, which is kind of like a supercut of those streams, and I think it's pretty good. It covers all endings, all secrets, so it's pretty comprehensive. I want to start with VIP because I think the thing about VIP is it kind of tells me a lot about how it is placed in terms of the important stories of Tales from the Pizzaplex. It has like a certain placement, and I want to see it on paper almost. So let's what we're going to do, we're going to start with Google Drawings. So I've actually never used this app before, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I can't scroll. Oh, but I can. Oh, I like this. This is cool. So this is obviously going to get a lot longer. We want a line. Sure. I'm such a noob at Google products. Okay. That's not true, actually. I'm really good at Excel. Oh, that's Microsoft. Never mind. Okay. So there's our timeline. Can we make this a little bit thicker? Hell yeah. Oh yeah, that's thick. That is thick with a few C's. Are we ignoring stories like Help Wanted and Frailty then? Here's the thing, like, again, this is going to be the Pizzaplex timeline. However, we're going to need some context. So I think that's a really good question, and that's a good place to start, right? I think what we're going to do is we're going to have a little line up here and a text box, if possible, and we're going to say Pizzaplex opens. Because, like, although that isn't in a story, like, we don't have a story about the Pizzaplex opening or whatever, we know that at some point in the timeline, the Pizzaplex opens. Like, that's pretty obvious. So, there you go. We have the Pizzaplex opening, and then over here, we have the Pizzaplex in ruin, quite literally. Right? So, I think what we want to do is most of the things we want to put on this timeline, we want to kind of have in this area between Pizzaplex opening and Pizzaplex in ruin. Now, with things like Help Wanted, it's quite hard, right? Because Help Wanted does tie in a lot to the lore. It's kind of like a prerequisite almost to the Pizzaplex opening. And when I say Help Wanted, I mean both Steve Snodgrass story and Help Wanted as a game. I think we could include it. And like, I'm not gonna have these as like boundaries, like we can't put things either side. I'm gonna say like we can do whatever we want with this timeline. So yeah, shouldn't we start with the epilogues? It could be a good place to start. I think we'll get to that in a bit. I think because obviously, actually, maybe we should have Pizzaplex construction begins instead of opens, because of course the epilogues are going to come in there. The text is small. Sorry. Let's make it as big as possible, I think. Pizzaplex opens. Is that any better, do you think? This is going to look awful, but I don't want to have like a formatting stream either. You guys watch me play around with Google products. Is that a little bit better? I don't, obviously. Okay, there you go. I'll zoom in a bit as well. So we have the Pizzaplex opens and the Pizzaplex in ruin. So let's get to our first discussion topic. Okay, feels too big. It's all right. We will adjust if we need to. Right? This isn't set in stone. We can move things. Okay, let's start here. So discussion point number 1, VIP. So if you guys want to let me know in the chat what you think about VIP and the timeline placement, if you have any ideas. I'm going to start out with one of my own. So, in VIP, this book mentions Monty's maze, and then you're probably reading this and you're probably wondering, what on earth is Monty's maze, right? Everybody's saying takes place before Storyteller. We'll get there. I just want to make sure that we're doing things one step at a time. We're making it really simple. In the middle of the timeline, yeah, okay. I would agree. I think Monty's maze is a big thing to point out here because in Security Breach, it's called Monty Golf, Monty's Gator Golf. And actually later on, it does say, wait, you're in the atrium standing by a terminal that is currently running a flashy ad for Monty's Gator Golf. Huh? That's a bit of a weird line. Because Monty's Gator Golf isn't a thing. So it's almost like during VIP they are constructing Monty's Gator Golf. But if we search golf here, there are 4 results. So there's that, of course. There's an advertisement for Monty's Gator Golf. That is the same line, just from a different perspective. And then here we go. Fazbear Entertainment, where is this? A recent data mine showed that Fazbear Entertainment is considering repurposing Monty's maze into something else, maybe miniature golf. And this is because of the whole thing of like, Monty's maze isn't very replayable, right? Might have been an error. It could be. It could very well be an error, the ad, but it could be a future ad as well. Oh, Ash, you have a good point. It could be for the arcade game. That's a good point. That is a good point. But yeah, so they're repurposing Monty's maze into something else, maybe miniature golf. Firstly, for the replayability value, and because later on it says it reminds you more of miniature golf courses. There we go. That's something that I remember specifically reading. So like the area looks like a miniature golf course, and a data mine shows that Fazbear Entertainment are making it into a miniature golf course. So at this point in time, so I'm going to put VIP down. Oops. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. We'll get there eventually. I'm going to put VIP down. So this is the events of VIP. Maybe I need to center these texts. Oh my gosh. I'm sure you guys are so excited by this stream. So VIP happens, I would say, around there. It could be later on, it could be earlier on. But there we go. And then let's have like a thing above here saying Monty Golf is being or it's not being constructed, but Monty Golf in data mine. There we go. I'm probably overcomplicating it already, but there we go. So at some point the Pizzaplex opens, and then later on in the Pizzaplex there's VIP, which happens, and within that we know that there's no Monty Golf yet, but it's due to come, right? So at some point around, like just after VIP, there is going to be a point where Monty Maze turns to Monty Golf. Now, the other thing about VIP, and I think, did anybody point it out? I don't think anybody pointed it out, actually. One thing as well is that, and I'm going to be talking to you guys a lot more in a minute, but I just want to kind of get the basis of this timeline started. And that is that the other point that I have is daycare. So we want to take Ike to the daycare, but the Pizzaplex doesn't have a daycare. That's a little bit strange because in Security Breach there's a daycare, right? So at some point they changed to a daycare. They plan to build one in the expansion as well. So at some point, so I'm going to write both of these things down. So at some point there is an expansion to the Pizzaplex, and therefore the daycare is then included there. Better above for now with concrete facts below. What about the daycare? Oh, Chaos just said it. Would you say this is around the time Cassie's dad works at the Pizzaplex? Again, I don't want to get too off topic already, but like, actually, chat, what do you think? What do you think about that? I'd say there's no way of knowing, really. It should be noted the Pizzaplex is still described to look like a pizza. Very good point. Very, very good point. Although, and like, you are absolutely right, and that's a great detail to point out that we did point out yesterday, I think it was. But it never changes from a pizza, really. Like, we don't really need to include that in a timeline because it doesn't really change from a pizza, I don't think. I mean, I guess you could say in Security Breach it's not pizza shaped, but I don't really think that's by fault of, I don't know, it's, yeah. So here we can include no You know what? Let's not overcomplicate this. We're gonna say, oh my gosh, these text boxes are gonna kill me. Watch Ozone struggle with text boxes for a stream. Okay, we're gonna say no Monty Golf. There is no Monty Golf at all. And here there is no daycare. Okay. But then, as we were just saying, at some point after VIP, there is a Pizzaplex expansion. At some point. And that is important because it means we get a daycare plus daycare. There we go. Do you guys agree? Do you guys agree with that sort of logic? I would probably say that the Pizzaplex expansion included Monty Golf too, but that's just an assumption. Maybe we should have like red text for assumptions. Do you think? Seems accurate? Okay, good. Were there any staff bots in the story? That's also a good point. There are. See, this is what I mean. There are so many things that we can take from each of these stories that are going to affect this timeline, which is why we genuinely just need to take it one step at a time. While we're here, I'm going to add something very important that we never added. Security breach. Security breach is over here. So, okay, here's a question for you guys. Actually, no. Actually, yeah, fine. Let's do it. I want to lead the conversation. I just want to. The red text sounds like a good idea. You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Sorry, I'm a bit muddled right now, but we're going to get back on track in a minute. So, Monty Golf. I would say Monty Golf as an assumption in red text. I would say that's here. I would say that's with the Pizzaplex expansion. And I would actually say it's more like around here. Like it's really close to VIP, but we wouldn't know. And obviously we can change that later on. This is looking nice so far. This is actually looking nice. I'm going to need to use this graphic for a video. You think the staff bots is the last thing to happen before security breach? I actually agree with that, funnily enough. And the reason for that is because we never see staff bots in Tales from the Pizzaplex. Security breach in a Pizzaplex timeline? This is getting crazy. Okay, so here's my question for you. Is security breach, and I know there's like the whole debate about the canonicity of the endings in security breach, but is the security breach the reason for why the Pizzaplex is in ruin? You get that question? Why don't you put Helpy? I'm just doing it one step at a time. We'll get to Helpy sometime in the distant future. There's just a lot to go with them, so we want to do it one at a time. Bobby Ots don't have staff bots aside from Fazablast. That's interesting to note. I'm not going to put it down yet, but save that. Probably. I think so too. I'm not going to write anything about it, but I think security breach is really, really close to ruin. And actually, I'm just going to shorten this to ruin. So we're going to say security breach and ruin happen pretty much one after another. Or not one after another. I did not mean helpy. What did you mean then? Why don't you put help.l or something? Help.I? I don't know what you put. What did you put? What did you mean? I don't think any Tales from the Pizzaplex stories are after security breach except Lally's game. Yeah, Lally's game is actually quite far in the future, but that's the only one. You meant Help Wanted 2. Why don't we put Help Wanted 2? Yeah. Oh yeah, true. So Help Wanted 2 happens in between these. Am I correct in saying that? I do need to reiterate, I haven't played Help Wanted 2, and I wasn't really around for the Help Wanted 2 when it released. So am I correct in saying it is between, yeah. No idea, thanks for your input. And if you don't understand why, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, because I could be wrong, but the reason for that is because in Help Wanted 2 we play as Cassie's dad, and one of the endings sets us up as possessing Maskbot, which is one of the first things in Ruin. Oh yeah, and Roxy gets her mask in Help Wanted 2. I do seem to remember hearing something about that. Hello Ozone, just want to say thanks for making video. Oops, hang on. my chat has gone weird. Hello Ozone, just want to say thanks for making videos about reading the Fnaf books. It's helped me so many times. That is so sweet. Also, I'm friends with Withered Circle. I know Withered Circle, yes, of course. I did a reaction. But thank you so much. That's really sweet. Hell Wanted 2 ends during Ruin's gameplay. Yes. Oh yeah, that's a good way to think about it as well, yeah. Yeah. So there you go. So here's our timeline so far, and it's only very small yet, but we're gonna get there, and I think soon we're gonna get onto Storyteller. Pizzaplex opens VIP, where there's no daycare and there's no Monty Golf, but in the Pizzaplex expansion they add a daycare, and we assume they add the Monty Golf here too. I think that's a fine assumption. And then much later in the timeline, Security Reach happens, followed by Help Wanted 2, directly followed by Ruin. And I would say, again, it's more like this. I'm gonna do that, just so I'm reminded. Okay, anybody got any problems with that? When do you think Frailty takes place? It's difficult to know. Maybe we could potentially work it out. We do know that there is a Pizzaplex open during Frailty, but I don't think Frailty is very important, so if anything, we're probably not even going to include it on the timeline, because it's just like one of those things we're just so unsure about. While the Mimic is still in the bunker or out? Still, or in, I would say. Frailty mentions the Pizzaplex. Yes! One of the kids is called April, and that's the kid that Jessica. Actually, I can show you. This is why I have my Kindle library, and this is something that I really enjoy doing. I really like exploring the books with you guys. It's really fun, genuinely. So I'm going to search for Pizzaplex here, and you're going to see April is talking about the Pizzaplex. Oh no, it's not April, never mind. It's just a random kid. But this is Frailty. This is literally page 7 of the book. I have been feeling a little bit hungrier. That's so good to hear, the woman said. When will I get to go home? I hope soon, son, the man said. When you do, we'll get your favourite pizza from Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex. We'll make it a celebration. How does that sound? So that, yeah, there you go. That's where the Pizzaplex is mentioned. How many other mentions of the Pizzaplex? That's the only one in Frailty, because this is in Lally's game. Okay, there's a lot going on in chat. I'm gonna continue. So we know that VIP happens like when the Pizzaplex is open, obviously, and we know that there is no Monty Golf. Now, the reason that's quite big to know is because there is one story in particular that really blatantly mentions Monty Golf, and that story is none other than the Storyteller. So let's search for Monty. Oh no, I think we searched for Tiger last time, didn't we? Here it is, and then I think it's the page before. Where is it? Chat. Chat, help me, chat. Oh, this is going to be embarrassing if there's just no Monty mention. Okay, we're on page 92. It will be here. Here we go, yeah. This is it. So here we are mentioning Monty's Gator Golf. So if this is, so I'm going to read you the context, sorry. So basically, in the Storyteller, obviously they import the Tiger Rock head into the big baobab tree that's in the middle of the Pizzaplex. And when they do that, that's for like the artificial intelligence importing so that they can tell like stories and stuff. While that's happening, basically Mr. Burrows, who is kind of like I guess a William Afton stand-in, not really, he's just like the bad guy of the story. He brings this AI, this mimic program, to the Pizzaplex, and Edwin made that artificial intelligence way back, way back, and we might even add that to the timeline when we get around to the mimic. But this is showing Edwin at 11:42 p.m. on a drizzly Thursday evening when he sees what Mr. Burrows is doing. He's importing this Tiger Rock head that includes the mimic program, which is going to be widespread across the way I found when you said that. I'm assuming you mean the Afton stand-in. But yeah, so Edwin slipped into the Pizzaplex via the loading deck. The drab concrete walled area was deserted, as he knew it would be, and he had no trouble weaving his way through the back halls until he could come out the corridor outside of one of the restrooms near the jungle-like expanse of Monty's Gator Golf. As he'd hoped it would, one of the fake plants in the lobby of the mini-golf venue provided cover for a perfect vantage point from which to observe the entrance of the Storyteller's tree. So there's your evidence that this is from the story The Storyteller. Here we have Edwin looking around, and here's your evidence that Monty's Gator Golf exists at this point, because we are in Monty's Gator Golf. So, sometime after the expansion of the Pizzaplex, we assume, is the Storyteller. Here we go. The Storyteller. Once again, I know you're going to agree, but do you agree with that, chat? I'm going to actually read chat. Frailty can go anywhere from the opening to security breach. Exactly, like it could literally be anywhere. We don't know, we just don't have enough information. Yes, sir. Okay. I'm glad that you guys are on the same wavelength with me. You're on board with my decisions here. I'm so glad. I've kept so up to date with the Fnaf lore. Where this is going to get complicated is Nexi, Tiger Rock, and B72, because I didn't really read those books properly. I only really read the leaks, and I mean Dittophobia I've seen inside and out, but that's not even really going to be in this timeline. Oh, hi Creeper Hacks. Another thing to add is after the expansion and before the Storyteller, Bonnie dies. Because the Mimic wasn't a serious threat until Security Breach, so either the Mimic was chilling in the Pizzaplex for a while, or Bonnie died before that. After the expansion and before the Storyteller. I'm a little bit confused what you're saying. I'm sure I would agree with you. I'm unsure fully what you mean. Nexi and Tiger Rock mentioned the Storyteller and that it was only up and running for 3 weeks. Okay. I didn't actually know that. Oh no, I did know that. I did know. No, I did know that. I did know that. Okay, so we are going to go. Let's do that actually. So we're going to have a period where the storyteller tree is open or is a thing. So in this gap in time, is there a better way I can do this? Let's add a shape, huh? That's a good idea. Right, add a shape. Shapes always fix the broken. Okay. Maybe not red, because that would come off as an assumption. We know 100% that this is a thing. So this is 3 weeks. Actually, maybe I should put... You know what? I'm so smart. Okay. I'm sorry that you have to bear with me through this, but it's worth it. 3 weeks. I'm so good. Okay. So, the storyteller tree is open for 3 weeks. I believe you, D-Time. I want to find the quote, though. I want to find the quote. And is it in Nexi? Because I don't actually think I have Tiger Rock here. I don't have Tiger Rock. Oops. Maybe I'll need to buy it in the stream. It's in Tiger Rock? Ah, frick. Okay. Let me buy Tiger Rock. I can't believe I didn't buy Tiger Rock before. Tiger Rock Fnaf. I spelt it wrong. Kindle edition. Oh, I'm spending £5 on this, guys. It better be worth it. Somebody donate me £5 now. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Kindle edition. Buy now. Tiger Rock. Verify payment. It might take up to 10 seconds, apparently. I do think Bonnie could be around the time of the storyteller. I'm not sure. I don't think there's... Again, I don't think there's a way to know. I don't think it mentions Bonnie in Tiger Rock, which is unfortunate. We should have Tiger Rock now if we refresh. There we go. Magic. That was so cool. Tiger Rock's peak, not gonna lie, defo worth it. Sure. Okay. What story is it? Is it in the story Tiger Rock? Let's Baobab. Let's overcomplicate things. There we go. Wait, what? What is this? Okay, maybe not Baobab. That's weird. That's a red flag. It is in Tiger Rock, is it? Okay. Tree. The storyteller's tree. Type of weeks. Thanks, guys, for helping me out. They hadn't been into the Pizzaplex in a couple of weeks. It's only been up 3 weeks, and I hear they're going to take it down. There we go. There you go. Thank you, Evie Debbie. So it's only been up 3 weeks, and I hear they're going to take it down. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. So does that imply then? Does that imply, I'm going to ask this to you guys because I genuinely don't know the answer to this. Does that imply that Tiger Rock takes place at the end of the storyteller's life? So is Tiger Rock there, do we think? I'll have it on the edge. Oh, I actually really like this. I like that I can ask you guys questions. Just so that we're sure. Okay. It does. I will. Yeah, illuminate. I completely agree. It does sound like the Tiger Rock story is there. Can't really remember if there's any other timeline implications from Tiger Rock. Okay. Cool. And then, can I ask as well, this is kind of like me just asking you guys questions and me putting things down, but I love how D-Time just has all the information. That's funny. Can I ask, is the story the storyteller the reason that the storyteller tree is closed down? Nexi happens at the end of Tiger Rock and then carries on. How do we know that? You guys are saying probably to that. Okay. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. But is there any indication in the storyteller saying how long it's been? That's my question then. Because, let's have a look. I think we want to, I want to do some deep searching. And if you guys have the books as well, be sure to like have a look in your books and try and see. Nexi and Tiger Rock cross-reference each other. Okay. I really need to do the audiobooks for Nexi, Tiger Rock, and B7 too. Oh my gosh. Because I take in information so much better if I like read it out loud and stuff. Oh, hi Soul. How are you? It's like 1 week. Okay, let's see. How should I do this? Maybe let's go to the end of the storyteller. So isn't there like sticky notes, or not sticky notes, drawings? No, symbols? Oh, wait. Drawings and strange symbols. Okay, so this is the end of the storyteller. Okay. This is the end of the storyteller. That's the start of Bobby Dots part 2. Okay. So I wonder if there is... What's the best Tales from the Pizzaplex story from 6 to 8? I have to say, well, in terms of lore implications, Dictophobia. I think the Monty within is just really funny. But I can't really remember anything from that story. I just remember it's just really funny. How's the timeline coming along? I think... I mean, we only just started, like... It's been 40 minutes? Are you kidding me? We're doing it, like, step by step. We're not overcomplicating things. We're trying to make it as simple as possible, and we're talking about it topic by topic with, like, a lot of evidence to back things up. So the Pizzaplex opens. At some point, VIP happens, where there's no daycare and there's no Monty Golf. And then they mention in VIP that there's a Pizzaplex expansion at some point. And we assume that Monty Golf is part of that, but it says that the daycare is part of that, definitely. At some point, the storyteller happens after that, with the storyteller tree being open for 3 weeks, Tiger Rock, and I'm going to add Nexi down here temporarily, because I'll need to look into that a little bit more, because I don't know the Nexi story very well. And then Security Breach, Help Wanted to Ruin. That's where we are so far. But I do want to focus on this area here a little bit. Does anybody know, like, is anybody able to find maybe like a time frame in the storyteller? Obviously it's going to be quite hard to put it together. I'm actually going to leave this for now. I'm going to leave that with you guys if you guys want to look it up. I don't know if any of you have the book and are willing to do that, but I just want to kind of know at what point during the storyteller's tree's life, at what point in that does the storyteller actually happen? Because what I'm saying is, like, if it's only a week after the storyteller tree opens, then that means it's open for another 2 weeks before it actually closes down. So yeah. Mr. Rose leaves Edwin in the tree for a few days. Okay. That's good information. That's good information. Can you type spring in storyteller? Sure. I love these suggestions. Like, it's really cool to be doing this lore hunting with you guys. Spring. No results for spring. Let's see. Oh, it wouldn't be autumn. It would be fall, wouldn't it? Duh. I don't know if that's going to help. Summer. That's Boots and Rab. Yeah, I don't think it's not in the winter either. Yeah, that's actually a good point. We haven't put down any like years or anything. That's because it's just genuinely really hard to tell. Oh, Tiger Rock. Sorry, you want me to put it in Tiger Rock? Will do, bro. Storyteller tree exists sometime after the story ends, I think. I think that would make sense, right, as well, from like a company perspective. Because they wouldn't even find the dead bodies for a while. Okay, spring. So here in Tiger Rock, it was a nice day. Spring had finally settled in for good, and the days were getting warmer. The soft blue sky overhead held wispy white clouds. Normally Kai would have been happy to be outside on a day like today, but right now the open sky somehow felt threatening. He felt exposed. So that shows... That's a good one, Evie Devi. That shows that Tiger Rock happens in spring. Let's not use year dates. I completely agree. I think unless we know for sure year dates. This is what I mean. Like, I need to find good evidence in these books in order to have something down. And anything else that's an assumption can be in red. Because we don't have evidence right now that Monty Golf happens during the Pizzaplex expansion. Which is why I've put it as an assumption. Thanks, D-Time. Thanks, D-Time. Sorry if I'm crediting the wrong people. I'm just trying to catch up with chat. Okay. I think you should list the evidence like that spring info. I think I can put... I'm going to put like a footnote. Or not a footnote, but spring. This is springtime. Okay, great. This is really funny. I would like to propose a change to the expansion. Okay, what change? What change? The storyteller doesn't mention Bonnie, right? His death is a good event to maybe figure out how long before or after security breach takes place. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I just think Bonnie's death is even a little bit ambiguous as well. I think we should start with everything that we know for sure. Oh, Evie just said wait. Near the beginning of spring, specifically? Spring had finally settled in for good. Yeah, good point. Very good point. Start of spring. Start of spring? Start of spring. There you go. Very good point. The daycare has the daycare attendant who was a theatre bot before. The theatre in the centre of the atrium is still in the storyteller era, so the daycare might be built after that. Ah. But we don't know. I agree. I understand what you're saying. Wait, so what you're saying? Oh. So what you are proposing is essentially you're proposing Monty Golf stays there, but the daycare is after? Is that what you're saying? You're saying the expansion is after? Because I don't know if that would work. That's what you're proposing. Okay, so we have a conflict here. Let's talk about this as a whole. So, what do people think about? Because I think that's hard. So, first test, of course, and this is going to be like a make or break. is, do they mention a daycare at all in the Storyteller? No, they don't mention it at all in Bobby Dot's conclusion. So good point. Good point, Deep Time. This is why this is so difficult. Because what I thought was just so simple, here, and like what I thought was clearly obvious, may be wrong. So it's really hard because it doesn't mention the things we need. I believe expansion is after Storyteller, Tiger Rock, or Nexi. I guess that is a good test as well. We can check Nexi and Tiger Rock to see if they mention a daycare. So I'll do that. This is so much fun. I love this. Daycare. No daycare in Nexi. Really? I swear, I could have sworn they mentioned daycares more. And then daycare in Tiger Rock. No daycare in Tiger Rock. Oh, that's difficult. There can be multiple expansions. VIP mentions that the Plex gets bigger each year. Yes, but I think it's better to... I think Occam's razor, the simplest explanation, is often the correct one. So you think the Storyteller actually happens closer to VIP? So what could I... Major size is never mentioned at all. So you think you would... Okay. Did anything happen since we mentioned Gator Golf in book 5? I just got back. Okay, so... Okay, this is a good point to kind of... to bring people back to this and like to make sure that we're all on a level understanding. So, we know for sure VIP happens, and we know for sure the Storyteller happens after VIP. However, in VIP, they mention a Pizzaplex expansion, which 100% includes the daycare. Okay, we know that. There's at some point a Pizzaplex expansion, and at some point close to VIP, but, you know, in the future. The debate right now is whether that happens before or after the Storyteller, because the Storyteller doesn't mention the daycare at all. Neither does Tiger Rock, neither does Nexi. Tiger Rock mentions the log ride, but not the Foxy Cowboy one. It's in the future Pizzaplex. Yeah, so that doesn't really help that much. Like, we don't really care about the future Pizzaplex, I don't think. The Castle Theatre is never mentioned in VIP. That's true. And I do remember the play area is mentioned in VIP. But yeah, they don't say theatre at all. Gator Golf is changed first, then the Storyteller is added, removed, then they create the daycare and move the theatre. This is so hard. Okay, I have an idea. Okay, so here's a good place to start. Fussy Dog 26 says, we just assumed that Sun and Moon are part of the theatre. I'm going to prove to you right now that we know for sure that the daycare attendant is part of the theatre. And that is because of submechanophobia, the Bobby Dots Part 1 daycare, if I remember correctly. Not daycare? What would I... Sun... Or, no, let's just search theatre. I'm stupid. Am I spelling that right? Wait, am I wrong? Day space care, daycare. Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, thank you. Okay. So, yes. So here, The daycare. Dark side called the moon. Okay, here we go. In its happy incarnation, the attendant was the sun. Deformed, round, grinning face. Yellow triangles. Blah, 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 blah. Dark side called the moon. The dark side was literal. The moon would stalk around the daycare, admonishing the children. It might be the page before then. Where is it? Wow, I'm really proving you wrong, aren't I? Finally, now I can understand the Pizzaplex lore. I believe they spell it theatre. Oh my gosh, what is happening? Okay. Theatre. Theatre. You think there's an accent? There's no accent in theatre, is there? Oh, whatever. You've been a naughty boy. Maybe we should just read through this again. Oh, here we go. The sun was an old stage animatronic. Part of its theatrical shtick was to turn evil when the stage lights went off. We are talking about a stage here. We're talking about a theatre. I don't see it. Maybe I should search fairy tale? No, that doesn't help. Does it just call it stage animatronic? Go to the previous page. Where the theatre is described as a cast with a little kids play area beneath. The daycare is a little kids play area themed after a castle. I want to see the Pizzaplex timeline. So once again, I don't want to go through it whenever somebody asks, but Pizzaplex opens. Oh, VIP. There's a Pizzaplex expansion, but this is the whole debate. Like, Pizzaplex expansion before or after the Storyteller, we don't really know. Nextly, Tiger Rock happened at the end of the Storyteller. Security breach Hell wanted to ruin. This is just going to stay constant for the entire stream, by the way. Like, we're not doing anything about this end of the timeline. I know about this. I just assumed that Sun and Moon are part of the theatre in VIP, even though the theatre is never mentioned in the book. Oh, right. Yes. Yes, I would agree. I tend to agree. Isn't, what's that story called? Pressure. Pressure. Isn't there a, isn't the roleplay area in the middle of the Pizzaplex? Am I wrong in saying that? Could very well be wrong. Is there a way I can just search my entire Kindle library? Theatre. Damn it. I can't just do that. That would be cool if I could do that. Oh well. The roleplay area is at the side. Oh, never mind then. We should cross-reference stories mentioning the daycare to figure out the placement of the expansion in regards to the Storyteller. That's what we're trying to do. It's quite difficult. What about the Hell Wanted 2 attractions? I don't know how that would really help. I believe roleplay area is 7 or 8 on the clock map from Haps. Okay. No, I always thought it was in the centre for some reason. The Help Wanted 2 attractions are in VIP. Yeah, the carousel is the same. But like that, I don't think that helps with the timeline. Twas watching my first and saw you alive. I'm assuming you meant first video of mine, but welcome. It should be noted that GGY still calls the Pizzaplex a dome or circle. Should it be though? Like I don't think we really care about the shape of the Pizzaplex because it doesn't change. The daycare is only mentioned in one singular Tales story. Would you like to tell me what story that is? Oh, well, yeah, never mind. Never mind, I'm being stupid. Cleithrophobia mentions a carousel. Okay, let's have a look at cleithrophobia. My gut is saying that you guys are right in saying the Pizzaplex expansion is after the Storyteller. And the reason for that is because of this whole theatre thing. But there's just no solid evidence. Where's Somnophobia? There it is. Moon is mentioned in Somnophobia and Bobby Dot's part 1, if that helps. Yeah, what was I looking for in Cleithrophobia? Oh, the carousel. I can't spell. How is it mentioned? How do you spell car? There's no it doesn't mention the carousel. Am I being dumb? It is spelled like that. Wait, what? Okay. You saw that. You saw how stupid that was. Who's Kim? That's Pressure, isn't it? But how does this help? This doesn't help. Knowing Cleithrophobia has a carousel doesn't help. Okay. What we're going to do is I'm going to assume that you guys are correct. Okay. This looks really cool. Oh, but do I want to? Let's think outside the box. Let's stop thinking about the what, you can't really stop thinking about the theatre, can you? I'm thinking like, let's think of other ways to prove that the Pizzaplex expansion with the daycare is after the Storyteller tree, but hang on a second. The Storyteller tree. D-Time, I need your knowledge. The Storyteller tree, isn't that in the center of the atrium? Would you like a link to my map server where all the appearances of the attraction are listed? Yes, actually. I can't believe you have a map server. That's so nerdy. How many years has the Pizzaplex been open? I don't want to really answer that because first of all, I don't have a clue. Secondly, I want to make sure that we're keeping things one topic at a time. I don't want to overcrowd the questions and stuff. Does the Storyteller have a daycare? No, the Storyteller doesn't have a daycare. I don't think. Let's have a look. Wait, daycare has a space, so that's probably why it wasn't coming up. But no, the Storyteller doesn't have a daycare. Let's just check to be sure that there's no day space care in all of these books. I'm pretty sure there's not going to be. I think D-Time did say there was only one mention of a daycare. Okay. Nothing in Tiger Rock. Please, Nexi, please just tell me about a daycare. Daycare. Yeah, no, nothing. Does Drowning have a daycare? That wouldn't help, I don't think, because we don't have anything to put Drowning against. But no, because we just tested Nexi. The daycare is only in Bobby Dot's 1. I do believe you. Ho ho ho, you said daycare? I'm here. Oh, hello daycare attendant. What great timing. So D-Time has sent me the Pizzaplex map server. Let me have a look at this. Oh my gosh. What? This is insane. That's crazy. Okay, I just want to take a minute to show you guys this. So how do I do this? Let's duplicate that, and then I can show you my Discord. Okay, here we go. Here's my Discord. Hopefully I don't leak anything. Oh wow, this is so cool. Look at this. Appears in. Wow, D-Time, you've really put some work into this. D-Time, am I allowed to invite who I want? Can I put a link in chat? This is insane. Like, look at this. This is crazy. Look how many freaking things there are. So we can go to the Storyteller, and this just has all the quotes for me. That's great. I sent the link publicly before, sure. Okay. Guys, if you want to join the server, which, like, it is insane that this server exists. And D-Time is just, oh look, it's the Dark Rooms podcast. It is, this is crazy. But I'm going to send it in chat. There we go. I'm going to pin it, I think, if I can. I can't. How do I pin? The reactions are in the way. It's not letting me. Oh, there we go. Pin. Okay. So if you guys want to join, that's the Discord link in chat. This is really cool. So the Storyteller tree appears in the Storyteller, Nexi, and Tiger Rock in the center of the atrium at level 0. So it was built right smack in the center of the Pizzaplex's atrium. So my question, right, to D-Time is, if it's in the middle of the Pizzaplex's atrium, how does that work with the theatre and the play area? Theatre. So the theatre is under construction in Cleithrophobia, Nexi, and Tiger Rock. Okay. Above the subterranean play area. Wait, it's in Tiger Rock and Nexi. Astrid pointed past the castle that rose up under the big stained glass ceiling that was in the middle of the Pizzaplex's roof. It wasn't a real castle, it was a theatre, but it looked like the castle. But where's the tree? Where's the tree in comparison to that? Okay, for now I'm gonna take Discord off. And okay, oh, I duplicated. Oh, for goodness sake, I hate OBS. OBS is the absolute worst. Okay. So I want a new window capture. Window capture 7. And I want, sorry guys, I'm such a noob at streaming. I want my Kindle. There we go. Whoa. Whee. Fun. Okay. We're back, boys. We're back. Okay. Wouldn't the Storyteller corrupt Moon? It's a good question. Okay. Let's keep going. This is just so difficult though, because we don't know. We really just don't know. Because the only thing we know... Let's go back to the expansion. What do we know about this expansion? That's a good question, I think. That could maybe lead us down other rabbit holes other than just the daycare. So They plan to build one in the expansion. That doesn't do me such good now. Let's look through expansion. Okay. Here we go. This could be a lead. This could be a lead. There are signs about an upcoming expansion to the Mega Pizzaplex, so maybe they'll give this poor guy his own green room. He's the only member of the band who's actually green after all. I have an idea. Okay. So, in the expansion, they are going to give Monty a green room. So is there a Monty green room in the Storyteller? Monty has a green room in the Storyteller? Okay. Let's have a look. Green room. Green. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? He does, I think. I can't really remember the Storyteller very well. This is Freddy's green room, isn't it? Between shows, the main performers, Glamrock Freddy, Roxanne Wolf, Montgomery Gator, and Glamrock Chica hung out in their green rooms. Boys, we found a lead. So, let's just let's think about this properly before we make any solid conclusions. And you guys can tell me if I'm right or wrong in this. So, here, they're saying there are signs about an upcoming expansion to the Mega Pizzaplex where they're going to give Monty his own green room. And in the Storyteller, Monty has a green room. Am I right? Am I right in saying that? So that means that this is correct at the moment. Because they're going to add Monty's green room. Right? In the Pizzaplex's expansion, they're going to add Monty's green room. I am correct. So I think this is correct. I think that makes sense. The kid only thinks that, not states it per se. Okay. Yes, that's actually true. Let's have a look at the reliability of the narrator. Since your last visit, the Mega Pizzaplex has added a cardboard cutout of the newest animatronic Montgomery Gator tucked to the left between Bonnie's and Chica's statues. Too bad for him, you think. There are signs about an upcoming expansion to the Mega Pizzaplex, so maybe they'll give the poor guy his own green room. The thing is, there's no Bonnie in... That is hard, isn't it? Let's go with it, though. Yeah, you are right. You are right. Devon only thinks that. But at the same time, I don't think Scott would put this here if that was wrong, if you know what I mean. Like, why would he have Devon saying it, like, completely incorrect things? Like, this is completely logical. Considering Bonnie probably doesn't exist at this point in time. He thinks it, but it happens. I am happy because also it makes sense for them to mention a Pizzaplex expansion in VIP and then very closely afterwards the Pizzaplex expansion happens. I think this makes more sense than the other way around for like the whole Storyteller and stuff. And I think a lot would have to change. A lot would have to change about the VIP's Pizzaplex in order for it to become the Storyteller's Pizzaplex, if you know what I mean. I do agree the implication is after or during the expansion. So let's have this as an assumption. But like a better assumption. So not fully red, but like dark red. Dark red. Is that a good rationale, do you think? guys. Thank you guys so much for the help, by the way. This is genuinely really fun. I don't know if this is fun for you guys, but I'm having the time of my life over here. Let me just have a drink. I think that works, but I'm kind of waiting for D-Time to say no. Because I don't think D-Time likes that outcome. D-Time, what you saying? What you saying, blood? Ooh, things have been added to Rockstar Row in here. Wow, we have like another 5 people in this Discord server. That's fun. Announcements. Thank you. Oh, hello, random people. Yeah, there's a message in the server. I don't care. Everyone has their opinions. Well, like, this is the thing. Like, if you think something different, and if you have anything against what I've just put forward, say something, please. I want people to disagree. And like, yeah, I understand. Maybe it's quite hard to actually fight against that. But like, I think that makes more sense than the other way around for me. I think that Bonnie's room becomes Monty's room. Well, yes. The expansion is a big overarching event that occurs before, during, and after the Storyteller. Yes, well, I get what you mean. Like, okay, to be honest, we could just put, like, on this entire timeline that the Pizzaplex is constantly changing, because that's right. Like, every event that we get, an attraction closes down, or a certain attraction is then created. Like, it's going to be hard to keep track of that. But, like, yeah, I think that in VIP, they mention a very specific Pizzaplex expansion. And in this expansion, we know that there's a daycare that's included. And it's implied by what Devon says that Monty's green room is also included. I did see that there were 4 things here. Where are we? Expansion. When we search expansion, there were 4. Never mind, there were 3. Oh, never mind. Okay, so this is the max occupancy experience, VIP explains dismissively. With the upcoming expansion, many sections will be closed and under construction. If the building is ever at maximum capacity, stations like this can provide guests with a virtual day at the Pizzaplex. I don't think that has any leads. It says upcoming expansion, not necessarily the next one. True, but again, like, the simplest explanation is probably the correct one. And I know that's a bit of like a cop out, but when they say upcoming expansion, I kind of just think of like a version update rather than like an expansion that's taking place. It's much easier for your brain if you think of an expansion as like one event rather than something that happens over like 3 years. You know what I mean? That's flimsy logic. Look, all of this is flimsy logic. There is no good logic in any of this. You know what? I want to stop talking about the Storyteller tree. I want to stop talking about Monty's green room and this Pizzaplex expansion and stuff. Let's go on to a different topic for now. Because I'm sure you're bored of talking about it as much as I am. But this is good. I'm enjoying this so far. So let's go back to VIP. And in VIP, let's search high score. There's going to be like some weird spelling of high score or something. Here we go. So here, I seem to remember, and I didn't point this out yesterday, and I wish I did, because it would have made me sound really clever. But Alistair is trying to get the high score and catch that fetch, but when he runs out of tokens, he gives up. Alone and annoyed, you play a round of catch that fetch and take some satisfaction in easily beating the high score. Okay? Now you're probably wondering, why do we care? Why on earth do we care if we can beat the high score easily? The reason is because in GGY, that's a point in time in the Pizzaplex's timeline where GGY's initials are always at the top of the arcade machines. There is never a mentioning of that in VIP, and we can easily beat the high score. So this story has to take place before GGY. Okay? Do you guys agree with that? Do you guys agree that VIP is before GGY? There's so many letters. So many initials. GGY has the high score on only some of the machines, but I agree with where you're going. You know what? I do agree. However, let's do a Google search. And I'm going to put it up on my other thing. Catch that fetch. Actually, I know for a fact that it's not. Yeah, okay. Never mind. I was wondering if Catch That Fetch had GGY on it, because then that would have been like 100% proof. But I don't think it does. Okay. Never mind. Sorry, Lance. Everybody's saying yes, 100%. I'm not actually sure what I'm doing here. Okay. Thanks for joining and saying that. I mean, GGY has the high scores in Security Breach 2, so maybe it's before he comes to the Pizzaplex. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, okay, first of all, sure, there's no GGY in Catch That Fetch. Which is great to know, but maybe it's one of those arcade machines that doesn't have GGY. Okay, fine. But then to try and contradict that, nobody ever mentions GGY in this story. There's never a mentioning, like even in Into the Pit, there's a mentioning of GGY. I'm kidding, that's irrelevant. I thought GGY was the high score on all the games, not just some. I think there are some arcades that don't have GGY. But I think the implication, yeah, is that GGY has the high scores on pretty much all the arcade games. It could also be a thing of Security Breach not fully. You know what Scott was saying in the interview about like what he had envisioned is not necessarily what Steelwool presented. So maybe it is a thing of like Scott wanted GGY on every arcade, but Steelwool didn't do that for some reason. Okay, D-Time. You said that GGY does kind of imply that it is 3.5 years after opening day. Where on earth have you got that from? I would love to hear that. But either way, I think GGY has to happen after VIP, and I think it makes sense for it to happen after VIP 2. The question is where? Where does GGY happen? So, is it after the Storyteller? That's the big question. And I don't know why I think this, but I think it's after the Storyteller. Am I right in saying that? Whether I'm right or not, we're going to look for evidence for that. When he goes through the list of therapists in GGY. Oh, yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. So, I mean, we're not going to have like a set year. But, oh, that might throw a spanner in the works. Okay, sorry, I'm thinking like 5 steps ahead, but I think that might throw a spanner in the works. We'll get there eventually. So, GGY must be after Storyteller since Mimic 1 is in the Pizzaplex. Yes. No, I actually agree with you there. So like if we find Freddy, he just kept his intense gaze on Tony as if sizing Tony up. But this is GGY hacking into I assume GGY is after the Storyteller, as if GGY implies the Pizzaplex was open for almost 4 years. GGY must be after the Storyteller since Mimic 1 is in the Pizzaplex. GGY is also towards the start of the school year. Good memory. Good memory. Fnaf AR mentions Vanessa's transfer. The third therapist mentions the same thing. She's been gone for 2 months by GGY. Okay, that's maybe something to consider later on when we go through tapes and stuff. Okay, this is looking really cool. I just love looking at this. Okay, let's have a look through GGY. So, what are we implying in GGY? We're implying that Gregory, under the influence of Glitchtrap, is hacking into the arcade machines and hacking into the animatronics. Does that mean that the Mimic 1 is system-wide, is system spread? That's what I'm wondering. I'm confused about that. Really need to eat something. I need sugar, that's what I need. I think it takes place in November of a year. Due to that, which would be towards the start of the school year. Okay. I mean, I think you're right about that. Let's look up school. If I can spell it right. I love how this is all in capitals. It makes it seem so funny. Oh wow, look at that. The school building is 120 years old. Wow. I'm gonna keep that there for the troll. For the lols. Tony's school timeline when? What decade do you think the Pizzaplex was in? 2020s, 2030s. I would say. I'm gonna get tortured for saying that. It's late 2020s, early 2030s, I think. Yeah, I'd say more so 2030s than... Oh, you said 1930s. Okay. Okay, let's have a look. So... let's actually have a look through this. So, school grounds. One of the younger teachers at school. We can. Oh, here we go. When his friends. Okay, where is this? When his friends had learned the term nom de plume at the start of the school year, they twisted it into nom de plume. Isn't that like pen name? I think. But what we're saying is when his friends had learned at the start of the school year. So that's important. So that implies that it's not the beginning of the school year, I think. There was something in GGY about the rainy season starting and also something more substantial. Greg is new this school year. The first therapist went missing 5 months ago. Oh, okay. I see what you're getting at. I'm picking up what you're putting down. But I mean, like, it's quite hard because Tiger Rock we know is the start of spring. So then if it's a rainy season, then it has to take place like 6 months after the Storyteller. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so I don't think GGY is at the start of the school year. What else can we get from GGY? Does anybody have anything? Does anybody have any connections between GGY and the Storyteller? Because I would love to know if there's any kind of signal that there is, like the Mimic 1 program is spread because of the Storyteller in GGY, or if there's any like attractions mentioned in GGY. Let's have a look at the Discord again. What can I? There we go. Let's have a look. Does any of this help? I guess arcade, no. There's so many locations. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to do the whole history of these as well. Santa's Giftplex. What on earth is that? Bleeding Heart. What? I don't remember this. That's so funny. They talk about the roller coaster, but only in the past tense. I also have _ AR website. Security incident log September. Hang on a second. Are you onto something? Are you cooking? Okay, where is _ thing? I need to find... Oh, do I still have it? I don't know if I have it. Where is it? I swear I have it. Okay, maybe I don't. Ooh, that's unfortunate. Underscore's fallen off. But Victory Games, that's interesting. That's really interesting. I want to find that. Security incident log. I'm going to pull this up on the stream in a minute. Duffel bag messages. Okay, let's have a look. Or is it? Yeah, it is duffel bag messages, right? You're talking about? Oh no, it's Fnaf AR. It's Fnaf AR. Okay, Fnaf AR emails. Let's have a look. Not duffel bags. Yeah, you're right. Emails. Let's have a look. Pull it up on stream. Boom. Yeah. So emails is a method of exchanging Okay, thank you. Thank you for telling me what an email is. Which one is it? Did you mention which one it was? That's all of the... Go away, ads, for goodness sake. I hate all of these ads in the wikis. Which one was it? Sent you a link, Ozone. Oh, to _ thing? Oh, it's a Google Doc. Part shipment receipts. Okay. Let's look up September. Okay, that doesn't help. Security incident log, September. Virus detected, packet inspected, data packet rejected. Why is that? Why does that sound like a bar? Virus detected, packet inspected, data packet rejected. Someone put a beat over that. Account lockout investigated, user error, password reset. Account lockout investigated, user error, password reset. Suspected malware, device scanned, malware removed. So what we know about this is that in September of a year, what are we saying? This is when the Mimic 1 program was imported into the system, but it's not necessarily when it was imported into the Pizzaplex, right? At the very end. Oh yeah, yeah. It's funny how Fnaf Wiki accepts Tales games but not Stitch Line games. Is that true? That's mad. Scroll down and it says it is accepted by VA. Oh, you're right. Data packet accepted by Vanessa A. Okay, great. That's actually great. Is September supposed to be when Glitch Chat was imported into the Fazbear Funtime service? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's either the Fazbear Funtime service or just like FNAF VR in general. Like they're scanning the what do you call it? The motherboards. The circuit boards. They are scanning the circuit boards into the system, and that then feeds into Fazbear Funtime service and FNAF VR. I believe she's then transferred. Ah, I see. Oh, and then 2 months, and then after 2 months, GGY happens. I see your logic. Sorry, I believe she's then transferred. I don't think we know that for sure. It's because Fazbear writes other stories contradict the games and they're put in the possibility section of Stitch Raid Stingers. Yeah, I guess it's fair for the wiki. I just love how the thing is, like, Tales has frailty, which is very clearly connected to frights. So it's like, why is one canon and one not? But whatever. 46 is seen talking to somebody with rabbit ears. That's probably Vanny, right? There is talk in another mail about Vanessa being moved from security to security. Oh my gosh, the FNAF timeline is so complicated. Look how far we've gotten in almost 2 hours. We've got nowhere. GGY school is built. We have gotten nowhere. So are we thinking? I'm gonna start putting things down. Are we thinking GGY happens here? Because you're saying it's potentially November, and spring is not November. But also it could be in a different year. But then but that's the whole question I've been trying to pose this whole time. Do we know that GGY happens after the Storyteller? Oh my gosh, this is so confusing. I like to think Frights is after Tales and Security Breach. Why? I think GGY happens not too long before Security Breach. I would sort of agree. I would say GGY is a full year after Storyteller. I guess it makes sense. Frailty is vague. I feel like the pendant can exist in multiple continuities without coexisting. Yeah, true. It's an excuse I made. But I think Frailty being the first story in Tales from the Pizzaplex is kind of showing, like, we're now transitioning from Frights to Tales, if you know what I mean. It's like, it's kind of like a transition, it's like an inflection point. I don't know. I think Psychic is streaming soon, so I think it might be a good idea for me to end in like 10 minutes, just in case you guys want to watch that. I don't want to intrude. We can move on to the opening days of the Pizzaplex. Can we? What do you mean? I don't know what you mean by that. I think this should be an assumption. I'm not completely set on GGY being there, but I do think it makes sense. You know what? Let's do dark red. I think that makes sense as a placement, but Clethophobia under construction, Haps, Submechanophobia and pressure. We could do that D-time, but I don't know. Does anybody have any other comments on this timeline so far? You know what? I'm going to remove this. It was funny while it lasted. It's done its time. So, Pizzaplex opens, VIP, Pizzaplex expansion, Storyteller, GGY, Security Breach. Why is GGY there? Well, tell me why it shouldn't be there. Given GGY is what causes Glitch Trap to be spread through the Pizzaplex, I'd say the base Mimic 1 is already gone. I think it's a great timeline. Thank you. It's just really hard to know if GGY is there or here. Because we technically don't know in GGY. No, GGY has to happen really close to Security Breach, no? Because of the opening GGY cutscene. Or the opening cutscene in Security Breach, sorry. Guys, I'm lost. Five Nights at Freddy's is not for me. I'm quitting. I'm retiring. You can read the books by yourself. GGY happens towards the latter half of the year and less than a couple of years after the Pizzaplex opened, correct? It's at least 3 years after the Pizzaplex opened. GGY has Gator Golf. Good information, good info. Let's just make sure you're correct. Yeah, you're correct. Yeah, okay. But at the same time, that could be another Scott not communicating with Steelwood. That's the thing. That's what. That's why it's so hard. Evie, it has to be at least 3 years because of the therapists, right? More so at most 3 years. Sorry, at most 3 years. It's just the it's the therapist thing. Because we know how long each therapist spent, and we know when the Pizzaplex opened in comparison to that or something. Let's get this therapist thing down. So, call me weird. I'm gonna make an Excel. So, I need to understand this therapist thing. I don't want you to create a table for me, bro. So, let's get around to the therapist. So, it wasn't called a therapist, was it, in here? It was a counselor, I think. Which is the same thing. Can I not spell? Nah. Counselor. There we go. I just can't spell. So. The news anchor started talking. Tony could hear the man's deep voice intoning, "The family of Mary Schneider." So first of all, Mary Schneider. Schneider. And then here we can put The school counsellor who disappeared nearly 5 months ago. Okay. So, 5 months ago. Disappeared. I can't spell. Why? Okay. Hello, Ozone. How can I help you today? Frick off. That would help. The main things are 5 months ago, the first therapist disappeared. That therapist worked for 3 years. The Pizzaplex was not opened when she started working. Okay. So how do we know all of that? Let's do some more research. So, could the Mary that GGY, the missing counsellor, Mary was a very common name. Is that from the therapist tapes? Do we know? 3 years. This is where he's searching through the laptop or whatever and seeing the records of the counsellors. Tony found a list of counsellors and then found separate documents for each counsellor, current and past. Mary Schneider's file jumped out at him immediately, but before he could click on it, his gaze landed on the counsellor list. His hand froze on the mouse. Tony leaned toward the computer screen. The counsellor list was long, but each name had a date to indicate the counsellor's tenure at the school. Only 4 of the names had dates within the last couple of years. Only 4 of the names had dates within the last couple of years. Tony figured these were the only ones that were relevant. The Pizzaplex wasn't even around before then. Interesting. Okay. First name on the list for dates in quite. Wait, so Mary Schneider was the first therapist? Or was the last? If we're saying, oh no, we're saying Mary was the first. Okay, so first, we have Mary Schneider. And then I can pull this down, right? Nope, never mind. I use Excel at work all the time, and I swear I can do that. 4th, 5th. Can't even remember how many there were. I'm so bad. I think it was 4, right? Anyway, so then Raylin, so RLTWGL. Oh my gosh. RLTWGL. Cool. Right. This is the best Excel ever. I don't think it says that she's been working for 3 years. I can't remember that detail, right? The first name was Mary Schneider. She's the current counsellor. Oh, okay, so Georgia Lowe is the current counsellor. Right? Current. Okay. And then can someone remind me, in the therapist tapes, is there are there 4 therapists in that? So we know that it was Mary Schneider, Raylan Lawrence, Trina Welsh, Georgia Lowe. 2 dates noted the time that the counsellors worked at the school. Mary Schneider had worked there the longest. She'd started 3 years before she disappeared. Okay. So, disappeared 5 months ago, started 3 years before. But what we also know is that the Pizzaplex, not a thing before these therapists. Right, so the Pizzaplex opens, and then less than 3 years later, Mary Schneider disappears. And then for the last 5 months, we've had 2 therapists gone missing and 1 new therapist hired. Right? Yes, there are 5, aren't there? There are 5. How are there 5 then? call the last therapist Jane Doe. So there's another therapist here. But at the time of GGY, Georgia Lowe is current. And then after GGY, he kills Georgia Lowe. And then there's another one after that. And that's what we hear about in Security Breach. GGY is happening during the tapes. The fifth one is yet to be hired. Okay. Yes. Good. Fantastic. We're all on the same page, I think. The fifth counselor doesn't appear in GGY. Yeah, okay. Cool. Oh! Fnaf lore. Fnaf lore. Someone called MatPat. Okay. So this is our therapist. Sorry, I should really make this bigger for you. I always get that at work when I'm doing presentations. I always have my Excel on a screen and all of the numbers and stuff are so small. I can see them because I have perfect vision, but everybody else in the room is like, please can you zoom in? And I'm like, sorry. You know it's bad when we're theorizing over people we really need to see. Yeah, I need to see these therapists. Okay. So what does this tell us? So this tells us that GGY happens around 3 years after the opening of the Pizzaplex. Okay? So I'm gonna add that to here. Or I'm gonna add a little note. Little bracketed note, parentheses if you will. 3 years in, I would say. And to be honest, that isn't an assumption. We know that it's at least it's around 3 years in. But we just don't know the placement in comparison to the Storyteller. Technically could be 5 months after it opened. The range is between half a year and 3.5 years. Oh. That's true. We do know the placement. What do you mean? Or you're just saying that as like an opinion, aren't you? You don't have any like firm proof that we haven't talked about already. Or please prove me wrong. Okay. So, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? I kind of want to do like this blue bar again, but with the therapist, but that's just going to mess everything up. So what we do know with this bar is that Georgia Lowe is employed for a certain amount of time, and during GGY we're seeing that Georgia Lowe is current. Okay. This is so fun. It is not the latter half. It is okay. GGY is set at the latter half of the year. Remember, so let's say around October or November. It is not the latter half. It is actually like January, February. But you guys are just saying sentences. You're not giving anything to back up what you're saying. Start of the school year, probably around January, since people come back to school on January. But it's not at the start of the school year. We know that the start of the school year has gone and has been and gone. I'll go back to the quote. School. Where was it? Here we go. When his friends had learned the term nom de plume at the start of the school year. So it currently isn't the start of the school year. Gregor's new the school year, so the first therapist disappearing 5 months ago has to be in the same school year. It does kind of make sense. But, August is where school starts in America. Yeah, September for the UK. It is. We know it's around that time. So I would actually agree with D time. I think first therapist disappearing 5 months ago. First therapist disappearing. I don't know, because maybe you don't know, because maybe GGY, maybe Greg moved in the summer and then went to the Pizzaplex in the summer. Cleithrophobia establishes that the Pizzaplex opens around January. Can we check that? Okay, I'm going to check that because I'm tired of this GGY talk again. Cleithrophobia, what book is that? That's somnophobia. So many phobias, man. It's like we all need therapy. Cleithro and under construction imply May. Yeah, I remember under construction implied May. Let's see January, if January's in here. No. I remember under construction, the main character is called Maya or Maya, and she's named after the month of May, and it's her birthday in the story. And it's when the Pizzaplex is basically just opened. Last story. Maya's birthday was in May. Inspiration for her name. Love that. Imagine calling... Actually, no. Some of the months have quite nice names, actually. Like April. Or, you know, I'm just going to call my daughter December. Daughter December. Under construction is where the Pizzaplex opens. Under construction is set in May. I think it's yeah. Sorry, let's where was it? Opening. Open. I think it opened 2 weeks before, right? Opening. Opened. Oh my god, it's just loading. Oh, for goodness sake. This is when the story happens? Yeah. Yeah, the story happens in May. Okay, new. Oh, there's just so many news. Ugh. Let's Mayor's house. I know it's at the beginning of the story. I absolutely know it is at the beginning of the story because I remember these stories pretty well, the first few. So it's right at the beginning. This is Cade, this is Lally's game. This is unreal. My favorite quote in the book. It implies that it's a loop. No, it doesn't, but where Pizzaplex. Pizzaplex. Maybe I should just search for Pizzaplex. Am I stupid? Pizzaplex. Okay. Selena. This is... Elena is this story. Lally. Yeah, okay. Here we go. The Mega Pizzaplex... I thought the Mega Pizzaplex was more hype than cool. Or hype than reality. That's a funny line as well. More hype than reality, because they're not in reality. This is pretty cool. She sucked through a straw and bopped. But where does it say it opened? The VIP happens during school time since the MC is in class. True. Right, you know what? I think this is a good place to stop. I'm just so annoyed that I can't see this. New mirrored ceiling, center of the Pizzaplex. I just can't remember. The world celebrates you. Here we go. Fast Entertainment knew how to make money. Before the Pizzaplex's big opening, the company sold thousands of mini hologram projectors at super discounted price. And the first thing... No, I want to know when it is. It has to be around here. When Jackson had shown her the advertisements for the place, she thought they were so over the top they were lame. I don't think... I don't know. How long will this stream be? I'm thinking of stopping soonish. Search for premiere? I think it's after the prologue. I don't think it is. What are you looking for again? I'm looking for when under construction... Looking for when the story under construction says the Pizzaplex opened. Because I'm pretty sure it's like 2 weeks before Maya's birthday. Can you look up month? I don't think that's going to help, but sure thing. Month. Everyone's getting cancer. That is... But like, we know what month it is. We know it's May. Clethophobia's prologue is after the story of Clethophobia. Premiere is mentioned, I think. What's premiere? Do you mean premiere? Look up week. Guys, if you have the books yourself, just do it yourself. Or you probably don't have ebooks, do you? This is a good idea, actually, though. Week is probably a good thing to search. Selena Cade, Selena Noel. Her name is Noel. A couple weeks before. No, Quantum Immortality. I love it. I love Under Construction. It's such a good story. Everybody's about to kill me. Diagnosed last week. For the next few weeks. Died weeks before. Nope, this is the epilogue. Never mind. I'm confused. Did you look up premiere? I'm not sure what you mean by premiere. I can make a bit about a premiere attraction and not even finish it before opening. Okay. I swear there's something that's like the Pizzaplex was open 2 weeks before. Because I remember being like, oh yeah, if Maya's birthday is in the first 2 weeks of May, then the Pizzaplex opened in April. But if it's the last 2 weeks of May, then the Pizzaplex opened in May. I remember like big braining that. But I can't remember where I got that from. How can they make a deal about a premiere attraction and not even finish it before opening? I can't remember. I can't remember. Oh well, I think this is probably a good place to start. Maybe you're thinking of under construction. I'm in under construction. Try opened. I think we tried that. Maybe from Clethophobia's prologue, as they do happen in parallel. I'll try that and then I'll end the stream. I do want to do this more, so maybe you'll see a stream from me again tomorrow on the same thing. What do you want me to search in Clethophobia's prologue? I don't really remember Clethophobia very well. let's just see, open. Yeah, because it happens, because Clethophobia is 5 months before the opening, right? Opening. I think I saw it. Oh no, that was pressure. Vent opening. Grady, open. Pizzaplex opened. An extensive network of speakers. When the Pizzaplex opened, multiple... Tube opening, open air, open space, opening off the platform, open his car door, open his locker, open mouth, open his mouth. Yeah, it's in the prologue. I swear, it's in the prologue of this. Kim looked up. I can't remember Kim. Is this the one where they walk past under construction, the under construction dome? I think it is, isn't it? I'm going to search months, or look up week in the story. I'm going to search month real quick. When the Pizzaplex opened in a few months. That doesn't help. 5 months earlier. Here we go. Finally. Okay. So here's what we know. We know that under construction happens pretty imminently after the Pizzaplex opens. And we know that Clethophobia happens 5 months earlier to that. So that's what I'm going to add to the timeline. So, and once again, tell me if I'm wrong, but this is how I see it. I see, oh, for goodness sake, maybe I should group some items. Okay. So, Pizzaplex opens, some point here, we have under construction. Okay. And at the same point, we have Clethophobia prologue. Okay. And then 5 months prior. Oh my gosh. This is going to kill me. Okay. 5 months prior to this, we have Clethophobia. You guys agree with that? I think that's pretty obvious, based on what we were just looking at. And then I can add a little note saying 5 months before. Five months prior. Okay, it looks like you're all in agreement with that. Oh, this is such hard work. This is labor. I better be getting paid for this. Right. So this is what we have so far. I'm going to end the stream here. So thank you so much for watching. But this is what we have in our timeline if you want to catch up. So basically we have the Pizzaplex opening, and then I think it's 2 weeks after, but I'm not too sure yet. But then 2 weeks after, we have under construction happening. And we have the prologue of Clethophobia, where all of the children are walking around the Pizzaplex, and then they see that there's this marked off section called Bellora's Fitness and Flex. Because it turns out that 5 months prior, there was an incident, which is Clethophobia. Okay? So that's how that is related. And then later on in the Pizzaplex's life, we have VIP, no daycare, no Monty Golf, because they're added in the Pizzaplex expansion, which is mentioned. And then Monty's Green Room is also added. Why is that? Oh yeah, that's why it's before the Storyteller. So then the Storyteller happens There's a 3-week period where the Storyteller's tree is up, and at the end of it, there's Tiger Rock and Nexie, which happens at the beginning of spring. Later on, potentially, we have GGY, which is about 3 years in, maybe. Like, again, I think maybe this should be an assumption, because as D-Time said, it could be like 1.5 years or whatever. And during GGY, the therapist is Georgia Lowe, but we know that there is another therapist later on. And that leads into Security Breach, Help Wanted 2, and Ruin. There you go. There's the Pizzaplex timeline so far. We're going to do some more streams in the near future. Try to add as much as we can to this and see how far we can get. I think between live streams, I'm going to do a little bit of work to like clear this up a little bit. Maybe write some notes in a document for all of this, including like quotes and key dates and stuff. But yeah, thank you, everybody. You guys are just debating things. If you want, we can voice call and I'll shower with vague details I barely remember. We could do that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I have been Ozone. And thanks for watching, Brozones. Wrong image. There we go.